Hey there, everybody. Top of the morning, good morning. So, a little change of pace today. Almost always start off with Colette, a little bit of Pilates, followed by me with some yoga. And just to keep things interesting, just start off a little bit of yoga. So, let's begin toward the front of your mat and simply let your arms hang. And bring awareness to the floor supporting your feet. Now, there's no imperative that the sensation should be the same, right foot, left foot. Just simply be aware of whatever the sensations currently are. Then, with that sense of grounding, bring awareness to your breath. And just like with your feet, no imperative that you should breathe any certain particular way. Simply aware of how it is that you are breathing. Now, very lightly, lengthen your out breath so it takes a little longer duration. And slightly deepen your in breath, sufficient that you can feel your back ribs expand with the in breath. So, not your deepest breath, not some sort of exaggerated deep breathing. Just like how you'd adjust the volume on your stereo. Probably wouldn't turn it all the way up to 11. You probably have it somewhere in the middle. So now let's match the breath with some movement. With your next exhale, take your arms to the side up and keep your head high. Inhale, arms down. Exhale, arms up. Arms go up as ribs go down. Two more. Now we're going to add a layer to that. Exhale up. And then inhale, roll your spine down. And let your knees bend as much as you'd like, such that your head can hang, and such that your hands can comfortably either rest on your shins or on the floor. Let the weight of your head naturally lengthen your spine. Then with the next out breath, reach the crown of your head forward. See if you can drive most of the movement between your shoulder blades, generating thoracic extension. And then fold. And then fold the out breath to roll up, all the way up, arms up. Inhale, arms down. Now the same thing, just a little bit faster. Exhale, arms up. Inhale, mobilize your spine down. Exhale, crown your head forward, pet the cat if applicable. Inhale, fold. Exhale, roll all the way up. Inhale, arms down. Now, same thing together quietly. And bring your hands to your hips. Step your feet wide apart. And then from your hip sockets, turn your feet out a bit. Your legs are turned out a bit. Exhale, bend, ankles, hips, and knees. Inhale, come up. Exhale, bend. Inhale, come up. Let's do 3 more of these cycles, matching movement to breath. Next time your knees are in the bent position, let's pause there. And then both feet take your heels up. Keep your right heel lifted like it is. And slowly over a count of 5, descend that left heel down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch, lift. Now keep your left heel where it is. Slowly descend your right heel down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touch, lift. And now slowly over a count of 5, descend both heels down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Contact. Press your feet down to come up and bring your feet back toward the middle. So now let's add a layer to our sun salutation. Begin with an inhale sufficient to broaden your back. Lengthen that out breath as you sweep your arms out and up. Inhale, flex your spine from top to bottom. Exhale, gorilla. And then with the inhale, step your feet back. Yoga pose, head down dog. Let's take a few breaths here and head down dog. And then with the exhale, step your feet forward. The gorilla. Inhale, fold. Exhale all the way up. Inhale, arms down. One more like that. Exhale as the ribs go down. Sweep your arms up to open your upper chest. And then inhale, fold. Let that inhale fill your back. Exhale, mobilize between your shoulder blades, gorilla. Inhale, step back, head down dog. And exhale, then step your feet forward, back to gorilla. Inhale, fold. Exhale, roll your spine up from bottom to top. Inhale, arms down. Bring your hands to your hips. Step your feet wide apart. Left foot in, right foot out. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Bend. Straighten. 3 more. The next time your knee in the bent position, pause there. And from your pelvis, tip. Let your whole spine, neck, and head follow along. Hand to knee, hand to hip. And as you settle into that diagonal line, place your upper arm, left arm, as a continuation of that line. Then little turn to check out your ceiling. Inhale, come up. Exhale, back to the front. Second side, turn your right foot in, left foot out. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. 5 repetitions. And next time your knee is bent, pause there. It's tempting to initiate movement from head or shoulders. Rather initiate from lower abdomen. Hip, hand to knee, hand to hip. And sweep your upper arm forward and through. And take a peek at your ceiling. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back to the front. First side again. Left foot in, right foot out. Exhale, bend. Inhale. Exhale, tip. Elbow to knee this time. Upper arm straight up. And then turn your nose to the floor. Inhale up. Back to the front. So right between your shoulder blades, across your upper back. Let the inhale expand that region. And make sure that that expanded inhale is accompanied by a full duration exhale. So bring that intentionality to the breathing, right foot in, left foot out. Next time an exhale comes along, bend your knee. Let the inhale open your upper back. Exhale, tip. And once your elbow's on your knee, take your upper arm up and turn your nose to the floor. And inhale up, turn back to the front, and then step your feet together. So let's take the sun salutation and add one more component to it. Exhale. Broaden your back with the inhale. As the exhale takes your ribs down, sweep your arms up. Inhale, mobilize your spine. Start with chin to chest, cascade down. Exhale, gorilla, and step back. So from head down dog, move into a plank position. Heels, hips, shoulders, ears lined up. Keep breathing. We'll hold here for count of 3, 2, 1. Back to head down dog. Inhale into your back. Exhale, step forward, gorilla. Inhale, fold. Exhale up. Inhale, arms down. So now I'm going to pare down the instructions a bit. Been leading you through step by step, the breathing, the movements, the quality of the movements. So now let's go through the movements with very spare instructions. Opportunity to more drop internally. Arms up, fold. Gorilla, down dog. Plank, down dog. Gorilla, fold, fold over. Roll up, all the way up. Arms down. Hands to your hips. Step your feet wide apart. Left foot in, right foot out. Turn your left foot a little bit more in so you face toward the side. So today, let's keep the spine straight. Keeping your spine straight, fold from your hips. And pause. Then turn away from your screen and let your lower hand, lower arm come to your front leg. And then come on up, back to the front. Second side, right foot in, left foot out. Right foot a little bit more in. Fold from your hips. Sometimes we fold the spine, not today. Best you can, keep your spine straight. Isolate the flexion in your hips. Then turn away from your screen. Lower arm, hand to the front leg. And breathe. Come on up. Turn back to the front. Fold from your hips. And now fold from your spine. Let your head hang. Hands maybe to the floor, maybe to your shins. And then roll up. And back to standing. All right, this will be our last sun salutation of the morning. We're going to make our way to the floor using the sun salutation to do so. Begin with the in-breath to open your back. Exhale up. Inhale, fold. Exhale, gorilla. Inhale, dog. Forward to a plank. Now we're going to make our way to the floor. You could either bring your knees down first, or you could lower down whole body all at once. And once you're down on the floor, stretch your toes back. And at the same time, stretch the crown of your head forward. Then keeping that length in your spine, toes back, head forward. Lift up. Lift what? Lift your legs. Lift your head, lift your chest. Few breaths here. And then come on down. Now bring your hands forward. Hands a little bit wider than your shoulders. Elbows a little bit lifted. Elbows a little bit bent. Still your toes reaching back. Still your head reaching forward. And this time legs stay down as you press your hands into the floor to lift your head, to lift your chest. And now to further lengthen your lower back, press your hands to the floor, pull your hands toward your abdomen to pull forward. A few breaths here. And then come on down. Hands back by your armpits. Press up to hands and knees. And back to head down dog. And then come on down to your knees and take a seat. So let's start off knees bent, feet flat upon the floor. And take those two butt bones, press them down. And at the same time, lift your head. Bring your left foot forward, right foot in. Hug your knee with that left arm and turn. Back in toward the middle. Back to the starting point. Root down to sit up. Take your right foot forward. Right arm. Give that knee a hug. And then sit up tall and rotate. A few more breaths here. And turn back in toward the middle. And then recline back. As you recline back, knees bent, feet flat upon the floor. We've done a few different variations of mobilizing the spine, articulating the spine, and that'll be the main point to the shoulder bridge. Begin by pressing your lower back into the floor. And you feel how your tailbone lifted up a little bit? So now explore lifting your vertebra from bottom to top, one vertebra at a time. So images sometimes used like lifting up a chain link by link. Now the reverse, set your spine down link by link. And then lift your spine up link by link. And back down. All right, so now let's be a little more specific about the breath. It's a full breath cycle to come up. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, lift the rest of the way. Inhale, descend halfway. Exhale, descend the rest of the way. Inhale, exhale, lift up. And this time we're going to keep the pelvis lifted. So internally making note the alignment of your pelvis. More or less centered with your feet and shoulders. Left hip pretty much the same height as the right hip. And see if you can maintain that pelvic positioning as you take your right leg straight up toward the ceiling. We'll hold here for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg down. Recalibrate your pelvis. Quite often it shifts to one side or the other, or one side drops more than the other. The Bitty Cat's going to keep me honest as I take my other leg up. And holding here for kind of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that leg down. In a few weeks, we'll do the advanced version where you lift both legs at the same time. Save that for later. So mobilizing the spine last time. Inhale, exhale, roll down. And then roll back up to sitting. So in sitting, take your legs straight out in front. Fold from your hips. And when there's no more hip folding contribution, fold from your spine. Lower back, upper back, and especially in your neck. So rather than looking forward, look down. And your hands maybe come to your knees or maybe to your shins, maybe even to your feet. And let's spend about 5 breaths here. And then come on up. Take your legs apart. If your legs apart, same basic motion. Fold from your hips to the capacity for your hips to flex. When there's no more hip flexion and lumbar flexion, thoracic flexion, cervical flexion, you end up looking down. Hands maybe to knees, maybe to shins, maybe to feet. 5 breaths. Come on up and come on into a seated position. All right, so that was the yoga component, and nice to be here with you all. I'm going to hand it off to Colette for a little bit of the Pilates component.
I can't get it into my phone, so you can't use your phone.
Left one.
Hi, folks. We're having a little bit of like just stuff. It's a little bit just couple stuff. Scott needs to go to the airport, and I realized we were filming on his phone, and I was changing all that around. But hopefully, we've gotten it all figured out. Yeah, he's going to figure out the second half of it. And we're going to go into some Pilates stuff. So grab your chair, grab your strap. Just come to sitting. And we'll take the strap off to the side for a moment with your feet just flat on the floor. And then find a place where it feels like your heels can be grounded and the ball of the foot can be grounded. And you can be up on your sits bones. So you did a lot of flow, a lot of hip opening with Scott, and just kind of moving, which is really nice. So now let's just take a moment and see if you can take all that work you did and then find some easeful posture, right? Letting the hips be released, letting the heels release, letting the feet spread out. And then let's play a little bit with knees opening and coming back together. Now my feet aren't rolling as my knees open and come back together. So I really am working some rotation in the hip to do that, but also I'm doing some work in the ankle and the foot. to make that happen. So I could definitely take my knees open more if I rolled my feet. But I'm going to pay attention to what happens if I just do a little bit of that abduction rotation in the hip, but then feel what happens in your lower leg and your ankle in order to keep your feet in place. And this is sort of like expansion on sumo, right? Like this is some of the stuff you're working with in sumo, just in a different way. Now let's do something slightly kind of on the other side, which is to turn your heels out, right? So your toes are together, your knees are more together. Now this is that turning the knees and the thighs in. Let's just kind of feel what that position is like. And that's going to ask the outer thigh to release a little more. And again, it's going to be a slightly different place in the calf and the heel and the shin to make all that shift. You can see I'm back. It's not just a picture of me anymore. This is what happens. See, when you like somebody has to go pick somebody up in the airport and you still need to film your online class. We're going to do it. We're getting there. All right, now bring your heels together. Okay, so we did a little bit of that kind of lower leg idea. Now let's go into some of the standing and sitting that we've done. So shifting so that your pelvis tips a little forward, your spine tips a little forward. Feel your heels still dropping and shift onto your feet, coming up to standing. And then coming back down. Sits bones go back, heels go back. Find your chair, your stool again. So lower leg, right? We've talked about hips, we've talked about knees, we've talked about feet and ankles. Lower leg. Now, calf, shin. Thinking of that really grounding and dropping down. Coming up to standing. Knees go forward, sits bones go back, heels drop, and like your lower leg sinks down through your heels a little more. So we make that lower leg just, we give it some energy and some life. And back down. And little shift forward. Nice, strong, stacking up. Like your calf descends towards your heel, your shin descends towards the front of your ankle. All that tension just keeps dropping down into the feet. Two more. And forward. And up. And down. And then all the way up to standing, we'll stay standing. And move the chair off to the side. All right, now let's take the strap and we'll use the strap with some balance work. So we can start actually with your towel, your strap just kind of like close by. You can put it around your neck like I have mine. And then we can grab it in a moment. And let's find that sense of bending your knees, sending your pelvis straight down. So not as low as if you were going into a squat. You can't go as low because we're going to stay upright in the posture. But in that bent knee position, do a little shift back towards your heel and a little shift forward to the ball of your foot and your toes. Your heels might come up a little bit, but they don't really need to. You're just testing that weight back and forth. And in this position, what does it feel like in your lower leg? Just kind of ask the question, your calf, your shin, the outside of your leg. And could you try to release extra tension there? Just think of that tension kind of pouring down as you go forward and back. Maybe that lets your ankles and your knees release a little more. And back up. All right. Now, let's take your strap, little pull out, bending the knees, one heel lift, bending the knees, other heel lift. And now, as best you can, trying to keep your weight even in the heel and ball of the foot. And as you press to straight, just imagine the whole leg, toes, follow the feet, heel, ankle, lower leg, knee, thigh, into your pelvis. And there's a real sense of energy through the whole leg that you can stand on. There's not one place that's absent. And one more time, and up. And then little pulls out here. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, pull, and exhale, release. And pull, and exhale, and pull, and release. And inhale, exhale, pull, and release. One more time, pull and hold it, and bending your knees. Now let's take it into a little more of a balance. Let's go right into whatever your balance is on that one leg, and then back to both feet, and feel your energy all the way through your left leg. You can stand on that really solid toe to pelvis to top of the head sense of energy. Up and bend and up and bend and up and bend and up and all the way down and straighten. Now we take a little bit more balance work. We're going to do it without the strap first. So basically what we've just did, but we're going to do a front, side, back, side version of that balance. So you're going to bend your knees. Let's shift your weight onto your left leg to some balance, right? Toe, ankle, knee. Take a step forward, push back to your balance. Take a step side, push back to your balance. Take a step back, balance, side, and then just step together. And we go up, forward, up, side, up, back, up, side, step together, and up, forward. So the whole time I keep some solid energy through the standing leg. And every time I push back to my balance, I'm organizing through that leg together. Push. My weight shifts a little forward. I get back on top of my foot. My pelvis shifts side. It comes back on top of my foot. Back and side. Now, if you want, you could add the strap, right? It goes up as you balance. It goes forward. Goes up to balance, forward, right? You might actually find this helps your balance. Sometimes it's helpful to make it a little more full body like this. Or you might find it's more difficult, and that's fine either way. Forward and up and forward and up. Arms forward, foot back, up and side. Let's do it one more time, each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, push, down, push, side, together. Last one. And together. And relax. All right, let's take it down to the floor. So we've worked a few different ways down to the floor. And let's play again with this kind of lunge we've been working with. So as you bend your knees, you find your heels. You think of the shins being a part of it, calves and shins release, and a little tip forward, right? So we're in that tip forward squat. And then glide a foot back and bring it together and come up. Yeah. And forward, glide a foot back, step together. and up. Now you can vary this however you like. If it feels like too much, you could just do it standing straight up, or you could do the squat and just like kind of lift a heel and see if you can balance. So find your version as you go. We'll do a couple more. Butt back, knees forward, reach together and up. Heels keep dropping, calves keep lengthening down, releasing down. Imagine the front of the shin to the front of the ankle relaxes. And forward, reach together and up and forward and reach and together. And then this time we'll use some version of this to go to the floor. Forward, reach, and if it's comfortable, hands to the floor, stepping back into a plank, lowering your heels or lower your knees, and then sitting back. And roll up to sitting. All right. So let's actually stay sitting up. Flex your feet on the floor. So this is kind of that squat position, right? Like this might technically be the squat position, something like this. We're going to go ahead and sit up, but that sense of like heels down and forward at the same time, which standing would be heels down and back. We get in this position, heels down and like forward at the same time. So that feeling there, rounding your spine and rolling back a little bit to the place you feel you can control it, wherever that is. And then coming back up. Now I'm using this as a warm up for my 100, right? And yours as well. So if you're going to go to the lowest possible point, the lowest possible point is like that 100 curl, but you don't necessarily have to go that low. But we're not going to head down. We're just kind of seeing like, where's the place you control it? And unrolling to that place and coming back up. And maybe even here, what happens in your lower leg? We talk about the hips all the time, the hips grabbing. Chances are your shins and your ankles and your feet have gotten a little tense in that moment too. So what if you took your focus on keeping the shins relaxed and the calves relaxed and the heels grounded? And then as you come up, don't pull up from the shins. If you could think of them staying heavy. One more time. All right, now I'm going to take my 100 in this position here with my head up and my legs kind of extended out, really open through the front of the hips. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And every time I exhale, I'm just going to imagine like a puff of air down from my knee through my shin out my heel. Like everything just, energy keeps moving that direction. Exhale out your heels. Three more. Last one. And lower all the way down and rest your head, rest your legs. Let your legs rotate open a little. Your hips release. And take a couple full breaths here. All right, let's go. One knee in, holding the back of your thigh. Now relax your lower leg fully. So the back of the knee releases, the calf releases, the shin releases. The ankle releases, the heel releases. And then as you extend your leg up, just observe what tends to get tight. We know the hamstring gets tight. Everybody's felt that before, right? It's just what happens. So, all right, we have that information. What else tenses up and when does it tense up? Maybe you've observed the front of your hip getting tight before, or your back. What happens if you put your attention on your calf, your shin, your ankle? Imagine all of that releases down and keeps some flow on the way up. What do you notice? A little more subtle, but there's something there, typically. Now let's leave your leg up and then here, specifically flexing and pointing your foot, reaching that heel way up. Typically, you get more stretch through the calf, more release through the calf. Sometimes you get a real tightening in the front of the shin, observing your lower leg as you flex and point. All right, leaving the toes long. Let's take your hands by your side and do some single leg circles. Inhale across, exhale, circle around and up. Reverse your direction. Whole leg from your toes through your ankle and your shin draws that circle. Can you feel like there's energy out, right? Maybe you suddenly were in a My Little Pony cartoon and there was a glittery rainbow trail coming out your toes that started at your shins. And then rest your leg all the way down. Now let's take a moment and see what that feels like. Letting your both legs release. Notice the difference between the two legs from your hip, pelvis back, thigh, knee, shin, ankle, foot. How does it feel on that leg? And then left knee bends. Bringing that leg in. Hold the back of your leg. Release the back of your knee, your calf, your shin, your ankle, your foot. And then with awareness to your lower leg, extend up, bend all the way down. Next time you have your leg up, leaving it up, and then awareness on the lower leg as you flex your foot. Maybe you feel the calf release as the heel really reaches up. As you extend your foot, take a moment, notice how the front of the ankle, the shin feels, observing that movement, that awareness in the shin. All right, leaving the toes pointed, hands come by your side, whole embodied leg as you start your leg circle across on the inhale, exhale around and up. Same thing in reverse. Energy out the knee, shin, ankle, foot, toes draws the circle. One more. And then same check-in, both legs down, let everything release. What do you notice all the way down? Lower back, pelvis, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, heels, feet, toes. And then coming over onto your side and up to sitting. All right, so we're going to do one more just kind of observation with some of this, coming onto your hands and knees. Set up your upper body really organized, so hands under your shoulders, a little bit of upper abdominal connection, upper back connection as your hands press without locking your elbows. And let's take one foot back, toes tucked under like you're doing a plank position. Now we're going to do a little rock back and forth. So as you send your weight a little back, feel how your heel flexes a little more, maybe your toes spread out. And as you shift your weight forward, maybe you come up to the tips of your toes. So your whole body is moving a little bit back, your whole body is moving a little bit forward. Now, if it feels like, oh, when I go forward, my wrist hurts, walk your hands more out in front of you. Yeah. And then you can get more of that movement. Now, what do you notice is that heel reaches back without locking your knee, feeling the whole back line of the body connected to your heel and pushing towards the tips of your toes. And then come to both hands and knees. And then same thing with the other leg. Tucking your toes, find your flexed position. Let the heel reach back a little bit more without locking your knee. And then let your weight push forward so you come to the tips of your toes. And then let the heel reach back and forward. And then down to hands and knees. All right, last thing we'll do is trying that with both feet, right? And you could just go back to trying it with one foot if you want. But let's try, if you'd like, in your full plank. Same thing. You could also do this on your elbows if that's better. Letting both heels reach back, shifting forward. And then you could test your toe strength and still like come up onto the tips of the toes, but maybe you just go where you go. Two more. And down to hands and knees. All right, take a little moment back over your heels. Let your arms reach forward. Let the tops of your shins, tops of your ankles relax. And then bring yourself up to sitting. All right, folks. Thanks for being here with us today. We were just sort of a fruit basket turnover today, but this is what happens at the beginning of spring break. Um, Speaking of spring break, this is our UW spring break. Scott and I both are affiliated with the university here. And we are going to take next week off for spring break. So next Saturday, we will not have a live class. Um, if you sign up for classes at Pilates on Harrison, you'll get a link for a replay of a class. So you'll still be able to do a class. We'll pick out a class and send that out to you. If you're not someone who signs up, if you just find us on YouTube, you can check out our whole playlist. We have a playlist of tons of videos, half and half videos. And I'm sure you find something great there to work on. Again, it's so great to repeat classes. And especially with these series of classes, sometimes it's nice to go back and repeat some of the work and see where you're at with it. So anyway, we will see you live in 2 weeks. And yeah, happy spring.